best platform to help them that you two are spending the time arguing with each other, trying to figure out which one is tougher on immigration in order to appeal to the majority of Republicans. So my question to you is, aren't you missing a huge opportunity to expand the Republican base?
Well, Maria, listen, you are right. It is extraordinary that out of 5 people standing on this stage, that 2 of us are the children of Cuban immigrants. It really is an embodiment of the incredible opportunity and promise this nation provides. You know, I would note that a lot of folks in the media have a definition of Hispanics, that you can only be Hispanic if you're liberal. That makes sense in the media, but I got to tell you, one of the things I was most proud of, when I ran for Senate here in Texas, I earned 40% of the Hispanic vote here in Texas. At the same time, Mitt Romney was getting clobbered with 27% of the Hispanic vote nationwide. And the reason is, as you know, you look at the values in the Hispanic community. The values in our community are faith, family, patriotism. You know, we've got the highest rate of military enlistment among Hispanics of any demographic in this country. And when I campaigned, and I campaigned the same here in Houston or Dallas as I did down in the Rio Grande Valley, defending conservative principles, defending Judeo-Christian principles, telling my father's story, telling my dad's story of coming to America with $100 in his underwear, not speaking English, washing dishes, having hopes and dreams for the American dream. And the truth is, the Obama-Clinton economy has done enormous damage to the Hispanic community. It is not working in the Hispanic community, and I am fighting so that everyone who is struggling in the Hispanic community and beyond will have a fair and even shake at the American dream.
Governor Kasich.
Maria, I was mentioned in that. I was mentioned in that statement.
After the.
I was mentioned just because it's a Hispanic, and I'll be brief. A couple points. Number one, I do think it's amazing that on this stage tonight there are 2 descendants of immigrants of Cuban origin and an African American. We are the party of diversity, not the Democratic Party. And the second point I would make is that we have to move past this idea that somehow the Hispanic community only cares about immigration. Yes, it's an important issue because we know and love people that have been impacted by it. But I'm going to tell you the most powerful sentiment in the Hispanic community, as it is in every immigrant community, is the burning desire to leave your children better off than yourself. And you can only do that through free enterprise. That's what we stand for, not socialism like Bernie Sanders and increasingly Hillary Clinton.
Governor Kasich, after the last presidential election, the Republican Party realized that in order to win the presidency, it needed the support of Latinos. Guidelines as to how to accomplish that were spelled out in an autopsy report that concluded, and I'm going to quote it, if Hispanic Americans hear that the GOP doesn't want them in the United States, they won't pay attention to our next sentence. So, do you think that your fellow Republican candidates get it?
Well, I'm not going to talk about that. I mean, I got to tell you, I was with this little 12-year-old girl, was at a town hall meeting, and she said, you know, I don't like all this yelling and screaming at the debates. My mother's thinking I might not be able to watch the thing anymore. I think we ought to move beyond that, about what they think. I'm going to tell you what I think. My position on this whole immigration issue has been clear from the beginning. I haven't changed anything with it. And look, my view is we need economic growth. Everything starts with economic growth. And how do you get it? Common sense regulations, lower taxes for both business and individuals, and of course a fiscal plan that balances the budget. That gives you economic growth. I did it when I was in Washington as the Budget Committee chairman, negotiating actually with Democrats. It gave us surpluses, economic growth, and the same thing in Ohio. But here's the thing that I believe. Economic growth is not an end unto itself. We have to make sure that everybody has a sense that they can rise. Of course, our friends in the Hispanic community, our friends in the African American community. The promise of America is that our system, when we follow the right formula, is going to give opportunity for everyone. It's what Jack Kemp used to say, a rising tide lifts all boats, not just some boats, but all boats. And you know what? With me in the Hispanic community, I think they like me, and I appreciate that because I want them to have the same opportunity that I and my children and my wife and the people we love have had in this country. It's time to solve problems.
Dr. Carson, concerning this recommendation of the report, are you as a candidate getting it?
I didn't hear the first part of the question.
The first part of the question is, there was a report that recommended that in order to approach Hispanics and bring them to vote for the Republican Party, certain things needed to happen, and one of them was that they shouldn't feel like they were going to get kicked out of the United States, otherwise they wouldn't pay attention to one more sentence from candidates.
Okay, well, first of all, let me just mention that last year at NALEO, the National Association for Latino Elected Officials, I was the only one of 17 Republican candidates to go there. And the reason that I don't fear going to an organization like that is because the message that I give is the same message to every group. You know, this is America, and we need to have policies that give liberty and justice to all people. And that's the way that I have fashioned virtually every policy, looking at that. And I think that's the way the Republican Party generally thinks. We don't pick and choose winners and losers. We are compassionate, but real compassion is providing people with a ladder of opportunity to climb up from a state of dependence and become part of the fabric of America. When we begin to emphasize that, I think we will attract everybody.
Mr. Trump, it is common knowledge that the Hispanic vote is very important in this race. You keep saying that Hispanics love you.
True.
And yes, you won the Hispanic vote in Nevada.
True.
But a brand new Telemundo poll says that 3 out of 4 Hispanics that vote nationwide have a negative opinion of you. They don't like you. Wouldn't that make you an unelectable candidate in a general election?
First of all, I don't believe anything Telemundo says.
You used to say that you love.
Number one. Number two, I currently employ thousands of Hispanics, and over the years I've employed tens of thousands of Hispanics. They're incredible people. They know, and the reason I won in Nevada, not only won the big one, but I also won subs. Like, as an example, I won with women. I won with every single category. I won with men. I won with high income, low income. I won with Hispanics, and I got 46%. Nobody else was close, because they know I'm going to bring jobs back from China, from Japan, from so many other places. They get it. They're incredible people. They're incredible workers. They get it. And I've won many of the polls with Hispanics. I didn't maybe win the Telemundo poll. But one thing I'm also going to do, I'm going to be bringing a lot of people in who are Democrats, who are independents. And you're seeing that with the polls. Because if you look at anywhere, look at any of the elections, every single election, it's been record-setting. And the good news is, for the Republican Party, the Democrats are getting very poor numbers in terms of bringing them in. We're getting record-setting numbers. I think I have something to do with that. We're getting record-setting numbers. And I won every one, the 3 of them that I won with record-setting numbers. New people are coming into the Republican Party. We are building a new Republican Party. A lot of new people are coming in.
For the record, you have said publicly that you loved Telemundo in the past. But it is not just a Telemundo poll. We have the tape.
I love them. I love them.
All right, well, it's not the only poll.
They're fine. You know what? They're fine.
Let me finish,
They're
please.
fine.
Just last night, the Washington Post showed that 80% of Hispanic voters in their polls have a negative view of you. And concerning the Nevada victory, allow me to explain that the poll in Nevada was based on a tiny sample, statistically insignificant, of only like 100, let me finish please, of 100 Hispanic Republicans on the state of Nevada.
Why did they take the poll? Why did they waste their time?
I am making reference to Hispanics voters nationwide in a general election.
I'm just telling you, I'm doing very well with Hispanics. And by the way, I settled my suit, as you know, with Univision. It was settled. We're good friends now. It was all settled up. Very happy, very happy. Very good people. But I'm just telling you that I will do really well with Hispanics. I will do better than anybody on the stage. I have respect for the people on the stage, but I will do very well with Hispanics. But I'm telling you also, I'm bringing people, Democrats over, and I'm bringing the independents over, and we're building a much bigger, much stronger Republican Party.
Mr. Trump, thank you. I want to turn our attention now to another critically important issue for the American people, the United States Supreme Court, where filling the vacancy left by the late Justice Antonin Scalia has become a major campaign issue. I want to bring in Salem Radio Network host Hugh Hewitt. Hugh?
Thank you, Wolf. To me, it's the most important issue. I'll start with you, Senator Cruz. Do you trust Mr. Trump to nominate conservative justices?
Well, Hugh, I agree with you that Justice Scalia's passing underscores the enormous gravity of this election. Justice Scalia was someone I knew personally for 20 years, was privileged to be at his funeral this weekend, and with his passing, the court is now hanging in the balance. We are one liberal justice away from a 5-justice radical leftist majority that would undermine our religious liberty, that would undermine the right to life, and that would fundamentally erase the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms from the Constitution. Now, I think the voters of Texas, the voters across Super Tuesday, are assessing everyone standing on this stage. In the past, Republican presidents always promise to nominate strict constitutionalists. So I'm certain if you took a survey, everyone would say they would do that. But the reality is Democrats bat about 1,000. Just about everyone they put on the court votes exactly as they want. Republicans have batted worse than 500. More than half of the people we put on the court have been a disaster. I've spent my whole life fighting to defend the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. And I can tell you, for voters that care about life or marriage or religious liberty or the Second Amendment, they're asking the question, who do you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, who do you know will nominate principled constitutionalists to the court? I give you my word, every justice I nominate will vigorously defend the Bill of Rights for my children and for yours.
Mr. Trump, Senator Cruz mentioned the issue that keeps me up at night, which is religious liberty. Churches, Catholic and Christian colleges, Catholic adoption agencies, all sorts of religious institutions fear that Hobby Lobby, if it's